Hello, Amy and Aaron. This is Heather Newton reviewing your entry in the social deduction contest, My So-Called Murder. Let's first start looking at your hero image and everything above the fold on your shop page. I think you've done a good job of making a captivating background image for the hero image up at the top of your shop page. And then we've got the logo floating over a less important area of the image that's not obstructing any key part of the image where I feel like I'm missing out on something as I look at it or where it looks like it's blocking anything. I think it's a fun font and a well-designed logo there. And I suppose it's sort of repeated here, but it's much smaller, and I can tell it looks like it's just what the card back looks like. So really you just have a photo of the cards in use up at the top. And I see you have it for sale, available to buy on the Game Crafter for what seems like a pretty acceptable amount of money for a social deduction game, I guess. Let's see, it goes up to 6 players. Yeah, I would say that's not too bad. It's kind of right on the borderline of slightly pricey, but not over the top. Now let's look at your cool factors here. I think you're doing a great job of calling out what's specifically interesting about your game. I like a very 90s teen tragedy. I think that's a interesting take on social deduction. And then you're calling out here that it plays like Coup meets Clue, and that sounds intriguing. Both of those are well-loved games, so that could be an important call out. There in the argument against Clue a lot of times is the roll and move aspect, so the idea of it being more like Coup where there isn't roll and move is intriguing. And I like the way you've used some different formatting to call out the story and everything. You specifically call out improvements on Clue, and the cards that are included. This is interesting, I guess, to give me an idea of the theme, but the meaning of these cards is confusing to me. There's something that's not quite coming through for me on why these are in sets the way they are and what they mean and why I should care specifically what the current cards are. So it might, I kind of think what you're going for is potentially the characters being a huge part of what's interesting and like getting to be them. But this is a place where I'm kind of confused about this game in general, and we'll talk about that more as we look at the rules. But before we do that, let's finish the shop page. I think that you've done a good job making it compact so it fits in the medium stout box, which is a really high quality box from the Game Crafter. So I think it's great that it fits in a box like that. I see you have a QR code on the side, which is intriguing. I wonder what that opens up. You've got lots of icons on the side. Actually, I can't see them from here. But I wonder what they all are. If they are, I think some of them are player count and everything, which I like to see. And there's something on all sides to help me, maybe not the name of the game on all sides. That might be kind of nice to at least have small on all the sides, but something that lets me see what it is. It's not just blank. The thematic picture of the cards on one side and the brand name on the other is good. So I think you did a great job on the graphic design on the box. And then also your action shots are really stand out. I mean, these are great photographs, and they make the cards look just like a really premium, cool sort of lifestyle product. Also, yeah, with someone's arm. I don't know if it's your arm, but someone's arm with a lot of tattoos. And yeah, this just gives the impression of a really hip, aspirational product and cool graphic design on the cards. and all that sort of thing. I think you did a really good job on the action shots. Might be nice to see people playing it instead of just the product being featured, but it's not terrible not to have it, but just getting to seeing people playing the game that you're thinking about playing and enjoying themselves is like a good thing to get you pumped about picturing yourself playing it and wanting to buy it, right? So let's move on to your rule book. And this is very nicely graphically designed. It looks like a really professional rule book just at first glance. As far as reading it, though, I think it could use some improvement on the details that are conveyed in the rule book. I feel like if I had purchased the game and I had all the cards in my hand and I wasn't just reading the rule book, which again is all I can see and do as the judge from this perspective, right? As I'm choosing which finalist to take, or also if I think that a lot of people like to read rule books before they even buy a game to help them decide what they think it's going to play like, and I can't understand what it's going to be like to be the characters in this game. I think I'm making a guess that I'm really hoping I'm right about, and we'll see how it actually turns out, because I did choose this as a finalist. It was one that it was kind of between it and a couple of others, and it squeaked in kind of at the bottom, even past these issues with it, because you're saying it plays like coup. And I happen to know, I'm somebody who knows what coup is, and that when you play coup, you just have a card that says assassin or whatever, but it's sort of all the table talk is that like you are the assassin. And so I think that that's why you're focusing on Sporto and the different characters. You are, for each game you play, I think it's a little bit role-playing. And I think each character must have a special ability, but the details of all of that are not called out in the rule book. It's just left to me to guess. And something like a list of what all the characters are and what their special abilities are, and some examples of how things would play out, would really help connect the dots and make it clear what it is. I'm going to be getting a copy of this to play and judging it as a finalist, so we'll see if the guesses that I'm making are correct and how it actually feels, how confused people are, whether or not people are confused basically when they actually have the cards in their hand, if the cards themselves have all the information needed, and it's just because I can't see the cards, and because I haven't purchased the product, I can only see the rule book right now. But yeah, I'm really intrigued by the theme and kind of the premise of the game, and this idea that it is the three different the three different categories of things about the murder, and that it's being told from the perspective of the person who died is interesting, and he doesn't even remember how he died. Is cool. So anyway, I congratulate you on a really finished looking professional shop page and everything. I think maybe you might want to add some, if you keep this on the Game Crafter, as you keep working to sell it here, I could see adding some images to your description area to draw people in a little bit more. And yeah, maybe actually the images of just the character cards here, that maybe would have answered like a ton of questions for me, even if they weren't going to be in the rule book. That could be good. So anyway, thanks very much for your entry, and I wish you luck as we continue forward in the contest.
Hey there, thanks for watching. Be sure to check the description for more information and links to helpful resources. Some links will give me a commission if you choose to buy, and I sure do appreciate the support. Thanks again, and see you in the next video.